back. Yes, it's on the floor. In fact, it's covering the floor. It's linoleum. Our scores at the moment, Tanya's on 20 and David is on 33. And we're heading for our last games of this Thursday night. So, Tanya, could you give us the last letters, please?
We'll start with a consonant, thanks.
Thank you. Let's start with S.
And a vowel.
E.
And another consonant.
P.
And another vowel.
I.
And a consonant.
D.
And another consonant.
N.
And a vowel.
A.
And consonant.
T.
And vowel, thanks.
And last letter, E.
And 30 seconds. Did you like that mix, Tanya?
Just a 6, Richard.
A 6 for you, David?
7.
Let's start with your 6, Tanya.
Spated.
And 7?
Painted.
Well, David, what do you think of those? Is spated actually a word?
Spate, as a noun, means a flood or an overwhelming volume of anything, usually water though, and spated is not actually a verb, so spated is not a word. Taking us back to painted. Very good 7, well done. Good play, David. I was playing along with that game thinking there might have been a 9 lurking here. I had found pies in the first 4, and then spied, and then spined. I thought it might have been Spider-Man or something, but only could find a 7 as well. Sainted was 1, and instead was another 7.
So 7's to be found, and indeed that was the score for David. Well, it's time for our last Thursday night numbers, and David, it's going to be for you to choose, but the last lot of numbers were obviously really difficult because neither you nor Tanya came up with solutions. I was just wondering whether that adrenaline when you're desperately looking for a solution but not finding it is anything like the adrenaline of, well, jumping out of a plane.
Yeah, it's similar. Definitely a sinking feeling, but yeah, instead of my stomach being here, it was more about here.
Kind of medium level adrenaline. What is that moment when you actually leave the plane like? I've never experienced it.
Well, I thought it was going to be like, you know, just being on a scary roller coaster ride, something equivalent like that, but no, it was absolutely terrifying.
It was properly terrifying. This is a bit more like the roller coaster ride.
That's right, yeah.
Choose some numbers for us, please.
Actually, I'll let Lily decide.
Oh, right. Well, speaking of jumping off planes, why don't we go for 6 small then?
Yeah.
You wild person.
Okay, and our numbers are 1, 3, 9, 8, 7, 3. And our target number, let's hope it's not too large, is 536.
Oh, brave move. Well, David, asking Lily to choose is definitely being a risk taker. How did you go?
Yeah, I don't think I took my parachute. I just crashed on that one. Yeah.
Oh dear. Okay, no luck.
No luck.
No luck, Tanya.
Not for me either, no.
Well, Lily, you set quite a challenge there. I thought usually you didn't really like 6 small.
Oh, I don't know why I did that. Well, we were talking about jumping out of planes and I don't know.
You just thought you'd take a risk.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
right. Well, I got there in the end, but boy, was it hard. Now, with the 6 smalls and a relatively large target number, I usually have 2 strategies up my sleeve. Number 1 is if there's a 10 available, or if there's an easy way to make a 10 and try to get up to somewhere around 53 or 54 and then work my way up or down. In this case, that didn't work. My other method, if all else fails, is try to divide this number by a smaller number and have a new target number. This number, however, wasn't divisible by 3, nor was it divisible by 9. It turns out it was divisible by 8.
Phew.
I know. And 536 divided by 8 is 67. So that becomes our new target number. And this is how you make 67 without including the 8. Now, 9 plus 1 is 10. By the 7 is 70. Subtract the 3 is 67. Now, 67 by 8, as I said, was 536.
Wow. That is a great method and very nice to understand the way that you got there. Well done. And your parachute opened. Very nicely done, Lily. So, no change to the scores. Tanya is on 20. David is on 40. So, that brings us to the ultimate word mix and indeed, of course, our ultimate game for tonight, the conundrum. Let's reveal tonight's conundrum. Your time starts now. Tanya, what do you think?
I think it might be stupefied.
I think you might be right, but let's double check. Our conundrum solution is indeed stupefied. Very nice way to finish, Tanya, but with the scores as they are, Tanya is on 30, David is on 40. That means our winner tonight is David. But Tanya, that was a great way to finish the game, and you leave us in style. You've played fantastically over the last couple of nights. So, of course, a dictionary for you to take home.
Fantastic, thank you.
And well done, David. You played extremely well through the night. We hope those adrenaline levels have remained well controlled.
Under control, yeah. Thanks.
See you tomorrow night.
See you then.
Now, David, just before we go, I have to ask you something, because at the start of the show, you said that at a party you love to have a piñata.
Yes.
And I have to admit, I'm not sure what it is.
Well, I did say it tongue-in-cheek, but it's a lovely idea and a Mexican idea. Piñata is actually usually paper mache figurine. It might be a horse or a peacock, and the whole thing is filled with lollies. And the whole idea is that you have to bash it
What, with a stick or something?
with a stick, and often you're disorientated with a blindfold, and eventually, once it's struck so many times, it just bursts open, and all the lollies scatter. And the reason I love it is because in crossword compiling, there is such a thing called the piñata principle, which is about when you create a clue, the whole idea of creating a clue is that it must break open. You can't create clues that never break open. So it's the piñata principle is also dear to crossword making too.
But with the crosswords, you can't actually take to them with a large stick.
A lot of solvers would like to do that. Or me.
I hope not, David. We'll see you tomorrow night.
See you
Anyway.
then.
Good on you. And now, Lily, you did say in your perfect party that you were going to be out on the dance floor, basically. Never mind the conversation, out on the dance floor. I remember a while ago you mentioned a certain type of dancing, and what was it, cronking or something like that? Is that what you did? Oh, you were kind of doing the...
Crumping, you mean?
Crumping.
Tell you what, David and I will hold you a party and we'll have a piñata and I can teach you how to crump.
That is a deal. See you next time, Lily. Thank you for joining us on Letters and Numbers this evening, so be sure to tune in tomorrow, 6 o'clock, for more, well, cerebral sport. Until then, good night.